The next thing we need to do is the reason why most of you are here, besides meeting with the coaches of your sons or daughters if they're out for a fall sport, is the Nebraska School Activities Association, which is kind of like the NCAA of the state. It's the one that legislates all activities, most all extracurricular activities of the state. Nebraska School Activities Association requires all schools to explain to their moms and dads the protocol that they will follow if your child would unfortunately experience a head injury, okay, which is typically called a concussion. So whether that your child sustains a head injury, we hope that they never do, but if they would sustain one outside of school, at home, on vacation, wherever it might be, if it's during the school year, we're going to help you out. And there's a protocol that we will follow. Now, we are very fortunate that we've had Mr. Adam Herman, who's standing right here to my left, on our staff, and he's given us free of charge by Faith Regional Hospital in Norfolk, but he's been on our staff since the 2005-06 school year. He is an instrumental part to our success in all of our athletics, and he works extremely well with all of our young people. In my own children's cases, they love Dad or Mr. Herbert to death, and think the world of him. He's one of our best men that's on staff, and he will work very hard with your child if they would be injured in any way, especially in case of, if they've had a head injury. So he's going to give you his presentation real quickly here about our protocol that we use here at Pierce High, which is something that's got to be used at all schools. Okay, Mr. Herbert.
Thank you, Mr. Bremer. First, two thank yous to the Booster Club. They support me as well as the student athletes here. They bought me a new whirlpool last year, so that was a big deal. That needed an upgrade. We got a new ice machine a couple of years ago, the nice little Sonic ice we call it, right? If you're familiar with Sonic, they got the good ice, so we got that for injuries, which is really nice. As well as they support our recovery protein drink for after weightlifting or after games or after practices. It's available to the kids if they want to take that. It helps them recover so that they're ready to go maybe a little bit more than they would have been had they not done it for practice the next day. So if you have any interest in that or you want to know more about that, just talk to me. So thank you to the Booster Club for that. They're instrumental in funding to help support things like that. Obviously, the administration of Pierce High and Faith Regional, we've had a really good working relationship now for quite a while, and we hope to continue that for quite a while. And so I'd like to thank the community of Pierce and the administration at Pierce for that. And lastly, certainly not least, is Dr. Henke and Kelsey Kreiner, downtown at Pierce Family Medicine. They are really great people to work with, and when I have an injury, I can text Lane or Kelsey or call the front desk and say, I got this going on with this kid, and he'll say, okay, send him down in 2 hours, or send him down right now. And they get seen immediately, and he calls or texts me right back with plan of care, and so it just really expedites everything versus waiting to get an appointment and then having an x-ray and then waiting to have it read and so on and so forth. So I guess that's my shameless plug for Faith Regional downtown, but mainly for the people that are there, because they're good people and they're good to work with and they take really great care of their patients. So why you're here for education about concussions. LB 260 was introduced in 2012, and since then we've been doing this every fall. So basically, I'll tell you a little bit about what a concussion is, what to look for, what you can help your son or daughter work through or know about the signs and symptoms of concussions, what they should do about that. So a concussion is basically, it's a traumatic brain injury, and obviously it comes from getting hit or falling or something like that, a motor vehicle accident. And so this creates a chemical change in the brain and disrupts your brain function, basically. You get headaches, you get dizziness, you get memory loss. Those are just a couple things. You can lose consciousness, obviously. Personality changes, emotional outbursts, or mood swings. That's probably normal in your house anyway, I guess, now I said that. But it can come from a concussion as well. So not everybody has a concussion, I guess. But so anyway, if you notice this in your son or daughter, you know them best, right? So you know something isn't right here. Ask them about it. Tell a coach about it. Did you see anything at practice? Obviously, I'm around every day for practices and games. I can't be everywhere at once, so, let me know. Have you seen so-and-so? I think they're acting funny. Or they told me this X, Y, and Z, and would you follow up with them? And I'll be happy to do that. But like I said, I can't be at football and softball and in the gym at volleyball, so things can happen without me knowing. So please bring that to my attention if that's the case. Secondly is removal from play. Any suspected concussion is the wording that's used in the bill. So any suspected concussion, whether you say, oh, well, they just fall down all the time, that's how they always act. Okay, well, I don't know that necessarily. So any suspected concussion has to be removed from play and evaluated by a licensed healthcare professional, which does include me or your doctor or a nurse practitioner or something like that. They need to be removed until they can be evaluated. Once that happens, I'll alert Mr. Bramer of that. He's the head of the concussion management team that we have in place within the school district. And that just lets the teachers know of your son or daughter they've sustained a head injury, so be aware of that. Give them more frequent breaks. Maybe we need to modify their coursework or quizzes or tests, or it falls right before a big test night, they can't study because they got a splitting headache, whatever. We can make modifications for them to return to learn is what that's called, that portion of it. And so once the return to learn is completed, there's no modifications that are needed in the classroom at any point anymore. Then they can go into what's called the return to play, and so that's the physical side of it. So return to learn is cognitive, and then the return to play is the physical. And that's with me, hopefully, or with the healthcare provider of your choice. But that's just a graded step progression, 6 steps. You do a little bit more each day, and you test out after each day to make sure no symptoms are returning and everyone's healthy. And then once that is completed, then we have a signed return to play that's signed by a licensed healthcare professional, signed by you as the parent or guardian, and signed by the student athlete that says, yep, we went through all these steps, everybody's on the same page, we're ready to go back to activity. And that's just the safest way, that we can do it. So, if you need more information about that, or want more information about that, maybe not necessarily tonight, maybe it happens halfway through the season or something, you can contact me through the school, or you have my cell phone, your son or daughter probably has my cell phone, contact me, let me know if something's going on. Obviously there's places you can go to look up a video or something, I would just caution you there to make sure it's not just YouTube, go to some credible source like cdc.gov has some good ones. The National Federation of High Schools has some good videos there, and so they can give you some more information, kind of on your own. And lastly, we have just a few housekeeping items. I'll be out in the lobby. You will need 2 forms from me and for me. So you have this small piece of paper that says you were here tonight, you heard this talk, you understand and agree with it, and you're going to sign off so that the school district can prove that all the athletes heard this. The second thing is this sheet, which is front and back. This is a release of medical information. It sounds a little scary, it's not. Okay, that just means I can talk to the coach or appropriate school district personnel about your son or daughter's injury. So if I don't have this, which is it's totally your choice, but if I don't have this, then coach says, well, how's so-and-so doing? I can't tell them anything about it because that's private medical information. And the other one is just authorizing me to treat, simple injuries that you may sustain while you're competing here or practicing or whatever. So make sure you get both those forms out in the lobby from me and sign them. You can sign them right then and there and turn them back to me. Next thing is, if you go to the doctor for any type of injury, sprain an ankle on a Friday and you can't see me till Monday, you go to the doctor on Saturday. Okay, they do an x-ray, whatever. If they write a note that says, Johnny can't play because of his ankle sprain, then in order for us as a school district legally to let them play again, we need another note that says, Johnny can play without restriction, okay? So if that's the course, the best way to do it is to be your own advocate when you're in the doctor's office. Say, could you put a date on that, doc, when they can come back? Because if the note that the doctor sends to me or to Mrs. Brawl or coach or whoever has a date on it, can return on August 25th, then on August 25th we don't have to have another note, we can just release them back to activity. Obviously I'll evaluate them and make sure they're ready for that, but I can't legally let them do it. The school district is liable then. So if you go to the doctor, please be aware of that, because sometimes that's a little bit of a delay when you're trying to get back on the field. And that's all I have, so I don't know who's next. Thank you.